Like, it's only a certain amount of time that we all get in the day or in this session. Like, we go until July to August, and then it's back into fall camp.
Short amount of time. We got to go in there and just buy into the process of what we do.
Everybody's working. You don't think every team in the country is doing this? How are we going to separate ourselves, right? What's the mindset every single rep?
Let's go.
Getting everything right, having discipline to anything that you do.
Pushing through, right? That only comes from being consistent over and over and over again.
We're going to have to go 1-0 every day. Not just games. We got to go 1-0 every day.
Go, man! Go!
If I'm lackadaisical or anything, I'll have no energy. That's kind of how the offense, the practice goes. So if I have energy and I'm focused, then it makes the practice better, it makes the offense better, everybody get better.
Keep going, keep pushing, bringing the same energy, like through adversity.
Right there, that word right there, win.
I think that's what it means to me, like what's important now. Like every day's important.
You're not motivated with yourself every day to come in here, sacrifice for your brothers and work. And all the other shit don't mean nothing.
Win today, not tomorrow, not yesterday.
May in July and August is temporary, and like the glory that we'll feel in January is the thing forever.
What is the word? Our best players are our best leaders. Ain't nobody gonna be able to play with us.
I don't really care about no lists, no trophies, no none of that. Because I ain't signed no paper for none of that. I signed the paper to win a national championship.
Hello and welcome into Tigers Roar. I am Jonathan Poche, joined as always by the Bud Man, Buddy Sanji, here at Old School Barbecue. It's time to talk LSU football. The summer workouts have completed, and now it's time for fall camp. 5 practices in to Coach Brian Kelly's Year 2 campaign, all leading to that September 3rd showdown in Orlando against the Florida State Seminoles. We have a guy here that's been at all the practices. We'll also let you hear from the head coach himself and a couple of players later on in this practice. But the Bud Man, Buddy Sanji, great to see you on a Tuesday.
Good to see you, JP. Hope everybody doing well, staying hydrated, incredible amount of heat. And because of that, JP, in today's technology happening with the NFL as well as a lot of college teams, you take them indoors for a limited time. You take them outdoors a limited time. They went outdoors today for an extended period, which is about an hour. But you got to be smart. We'll talk about all the ins and the outs. I actually did miss Friday, but we've seen everything else. Got a lot of tidbits for you. And there's one area of concern we'll get into, but hope all you Tiger fans have had a great summer. I don't know one LSU Tiger fan that got sand kicked up on the beach towel. You went to Destin.
Sure did.
There's nobody kicking up sand on your beach towel. Not Tennessee, not Mississippi State, not Auburn, Alabama, none of those teams. So number 5, the coaches preseason poll came out yesterday, and of course next Monday, we're taping here on Tuesday, August the 8th. Next Monday will be AP. JP, I always thought LSU would be about 7. They could be 5, 6, or 7 come next Monday with the AP.
Right, LSU already in the hunt. Preseason coaches poll number 5. There's also a couple other SEC teams in the top 5. You can probably guess who those ones are. Georgia at the top, Alabama sitting at that 3 spot. So it's all going to be in the mix for LSU. A lot of expectations this year. You talk about where they were at this time last season, learning how to practice, what supplements they had to take, when to go to bed, how to be on time, how to go to class, because graduate champions was the mantra. And the wordage has changed a little bit for this year for Coach Kelly. He seems to be using the phrase realistic expectations, right? We're talking about moving forward and what he expects of this year, his quarterback, his offensive line, that crowded running back room, and, of course, that defense led by the sophomore sensation, Hal Perkins. A lot of new faces on that side of the ball, especially in the secondary, a lot of young guys. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more. With 5 practices under their belt already, the 2 deep on the depth chart is looking a little bit clearer for those reporters that have been lucky enough to go to practice, withstand that heat. Budman doing a great job after the practices with Mike Scarborough, TigerBait.com. Give the practice recaps. Go check those out on YouTube. Budman, I know it's been hot. There was a little scuffle at practice yesterday. Coach Brian Kelly says when you're dealing with 18, 19-year-old kids, every day is a teaching opportunity. He took that opportunity to teach. Hal Perkins in particular had a little talk with him on the field. He joked about in the presser that it was about an NIL deal with John Deere, but it was a little more serious than that. I know you don't like the team fighting amongst themselves, especially in training camp when guys can get hurt. You hurt yourself, hurt your teammates. But me, I like the fire. I know it happens across almost every program across the nation, but truly the access that the reporters have had, the media has had to these practices is why we know about these fights. And it's truly been special to see all these little tidbits coming from you and Mike after every practice.
Yeah, and you got a tip of the hat. Look, Brian Kelly is smart enough to know that Kim Mulkey won a natty and Jay Johnson won a natty. And, oh, by the way, he's in year 2. And so the brain of the LSU fan is asking this question on August the 8th. Could LSU win a natty in football? And it's too early to try to give you a legitimate answer on that. They've got a chance. They've got a lot more depth. They've got some skilled people, as evidenced with 6 Tigers on the preseason first team, 3 on offense, 3 on defense. They are appreciably deeper at the line of scrimmage. They've got the skilled people. But once again, until you see scrimmages, we're really not going to know. And then you really don't know until you play somebody else. Florida State, by the way, had a couple of bad breaks. They had a big defensive tackle that was coming over from Miami. Had a waiver. He's transferred. This is his second transfer. They denied the waiver. They've also got some injuries on the D-line. So LSU, that O-line, and playing smash mouth, and JP, all the years we've been covering LSU, I don't ever remember, and I love to play crazy eights with little Evie Babin and the rest, but I've never seen 8 legitimate running backs. How are they going to all get into the to be happy? They all do something differently. Last year, of course, as we know in the spring game, they had 2. So, by the way, picked up a bunch of tight ends, and Lance Hurd, 6'6", 310 when they signed him, 6'6", 340, and today he literally pancaked a true freshman defensive end. And I'm talking about grabbing him, throwing him to the ground, and then finishing the pancake. It has been hot. It's been spicy. But like you alluded to, the only reason I don't like it is I don't want to see a guy try and swing and hit somebody, break his wrist, and be out for the year. It's about brotherhood. It's about bonding. It's about togetherness. Look, everybody else in the country wants to beat you up. Don't beat yourself up. But, you know, the 2019, they got plenty of stories about the fights Joe Burrow and the defense had. So
Joe
there's
Burrow,
some
Patrick
good
Queen.
and there's some negative to it.
That's right. Take our first break of this episode of Tigers Roar. Before we do that, remind you guys, go check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. While you're at the page, click the like button, click subscribe so you're aware every time we post something new at our YouTube page. All of the Tigers Roars are archived there for your viewing pleasure, along with the Clarence Bug Show and everything else we do here on Pelican. Go check it out, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. And don't forget, come check out Old School Barbecue for great food at old school prices. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we shoot the shows. Come check it out, Old School Barbecue. Take a quick break, and we'll be back. He's the Bud Man. I'm Jonathan Poche, and you're watching Tigers Roar.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
You could be driving a Honda.
Improved from the front grille to the tailgate and equipped to take you on the adventure of a lifetime, the ride is just different in this new Pilot seat. Come see the all-new 2023 Honda Pilot, now on sale at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda on Seagan Lane.
Desire in your eyes, but you can't keep it in your heart. 'Cause misery loves company. 'Cause misery loves company. Cold and hungry like a dog in the street. I get a raw deal every.
Continue here on Tigers Roar, talking LSU football. They were reported back to camp. 5 practices under their belt. Coach Brian Kelly's second year as the head coach of the Tigers. A lot of expectations. Number 5 in the coaches' preseason poll. Coming off a season where they went 10-4, won the SEC West, beat Alabama in overtime at home for the first time since 2012. Don't quote me. A lot of expectations, not only for coach, but the quarterback, too. Jaden Daniels has the second highest Heisman odds right now as we sit preseason. Expected to do big things in the SEC and off into the playoff picture. It's going to be led by him, but also big man returning on defense, Bud, man. Mason Smith, number 0, coming back. Did a lot of work in the summer to get his confidence back in that knee. Do not jump and celebrate, big man, in this first week. But good to see 0 back. He's going to do a lot to stir that drink right there in the front.
You know, I'm superstitious. I have said on numerous occasions I thought Mason Smith should be double 0 this year because he had such a freak accident. Look, he's still the only LSU player to ever wear the 0. You know, as you were eloquently setting up Coach Kelly, it just hit me, folks. Preseason 5. Is this the year of 5? Jaden Daniels wearing number 5, preseason All-SEC quarterback. Let's get right to it. We know he's as fast as any quarterback in the country or in the SEC for sure. Jalen Milroe has some great set of wheels with Alabama. That's a battle going on with Ty Simpson. They're probably going to play too. Is LSU going to play too? Jaden Daniels, of course, is going to start and take the lion's share of the reps. But you get back to how much do you want him running? How much do you dink and dunk? And how quickly does he go through his progression of reads and get the football into the difference makers? Malik Neighbors is going to be a featured wide receiver. Mason Smith got the potential to be an All-American. Brian Thomas Jr., Kyron Lacey are your first set of receivers with Neighbors. Aaron Anderson, he got a little sick today with the heat, but man, I know Scarborough loves him. I love him too. Number 1, puts his foot in the ground. He makes people miss. Chris Hilton's had a good camp. Kyle Parker, a true freshman coming in. Look, 8 running backs, probably 7 or 8 wide receivers, 2 quarterbacks, a bunch of depth on the offensive line. Offense is not going to be the problem. The question is, can they put a significant pass rush with the front 4 to where Matt House doesn't have to blitz, because corners and safeties are going to be a work in progress. all year long, Tiger fans.
Realistic expectations is the mantra for Coach Brian Kelly in his year 2. Lots of success in year 1, beat Alabama in overtime at home. Blew the doors off of Purdue in that Citrus Bowl the last game of the season. So a lot of momentum heading to the offseason, who's carrying that right into fall camp. One of the guys here from head coach. Here is Brian Kelly today from Tuesday, August 8th. Here is his comments after practice number 5 for the LSU Tigers.
I want to start. We've got 5 former football players who are graduating on Friday, and I'd be remiss if I didn't take an opportunity to talk about, our mission is not just about, our current players. It's about former players and reaching out to our former players and making sure that reaches them as well in terms of assisting them and building a bridge so they can come back and graduate as well. Jay Ward, Jacoby Stevens, Grant Delpit, Trindon Holloway, and Kentravius Aubrey are all going to be graduating from LSU, and we're proud of those 5 for sticking to their commitment of earning their degree and being part of what we believe is our mission here, and that is graduating champions. So I wanted to take this opportunity to congratulate those 5. And again, it's sometimes difficult. You get distracted. Your life takes a different turn, and priorities then change. But great to see these guys stick with it and again earn their degree from LSU. So we're really proud of them. Practice today, obviously we were challenging our football team with the elements. We went past our original threshold of about an hour to about an hour and 15, 20 minutes outside. The elements are what they are. They're real. But my sense is that, we need to continue to add on to our exposure outside and, build a mindset that, obviously allows us to fight through those times that, mentally, we could possibly lose our concentration because of the environment. And I thought our guys did a pretty good job by and large. In particular, the last couple of periods were a blitz pickup period, which, requires a lot of intensity and focus and concentration. I thought they did a really good job. So made some progress from yesterday in terms of the way we practiced. And, that's what you're looking for. So I'm pleased with the progress that they made from yesterday to today. Again, we got a long way to go. We've got to continue to work on our conditioning level in these elements, and looks like the weather is going to cooperate. Looking at the long-range weather, I think we're in for a very warm August. So I think this is going to continue, and we'll be smart. We'll be careful with our guys, but we're going to continue to build on what we need to do to be ready for, our opener in Orlando, which I can guarantee is going to be extremely warm. So with that, I'll open up to questions.
Hey, Coach, over here. Matthew Bruni with On 3. The cornerback position with guys like Ashton Stamps, LaTerrence Welsh getting reps, Deuce Chestnut, just what have you seen from all of them as you continue to evaluate?
Yeah, I think I see what you guys see. I mean, I think that, Deuce is a guy that's got a lot of football, Power 5 football. He's played a lot of winning football. He's competitive, smart. And so you're getting a veteran player there. Obviously, he had the surgery, so we didn't see a lot of him in the spring, but the things that really stood out for us in our evaluation was that he was a smart player, savvy, short tackler, and was always around the ball. And that's starting to kind of show itself here early on in camp. And again, we're 5 days in, so I'm not ready to, make any kind of bold statements, but he's making progress. LT is, I think he's built on his spring performance. His spring game was outstanding. He's had a great summer, and he continues to get better each and every day. Ashton's a true freshman who put on, a lot of weight. I think many of you remember us recruiting him. He was a bit, I would say, underweight at the position for us, and we were excited about his competitiveness and his athleticism, but we challenged him to get after it in the weight room, and he certainly did in the off season and then this summer, and he looks the part. He's doing a really good job as a true freshman.
Hey, Coach. Michael Cottle, WBRZ. Jaden at Media Day said something which was interesting and it stood out. He wanted part of his legacy to be that of helping Nuss and Ricky as well. What kind of leadership are you seeing from that guy now that he's certainly comfortable, where he is?
Well, I think he's always been that kind of guy. I don't think I've ever seen him as somebody that has been selfish or thought about himself first. And I would say that those two guys, Ricky and Nuss, have been the same way. So I think it doesn't surprise me that I didn't hear the interview, but that those comments came out of his mouth, because I've seen that from him since he's arrived here on campus. I think now that he's in much more of a vocal leadership position, I think he can articulate his thoughts and feelings a little bit more, because he is, in that starting role right now. So I don't know that he was feeling as though those were some of the things that he needed to be talking about last year. But I think he's just in a different role this year, and probably just being who he was last year, but just in a different role.
Hey, Coach. Matt Moscona, ESPN Radio Baton Rouge. Can you give us an update on Jimmy Lindsay, and then also how John Jancic and Bob Diaco have done transitioning with basically a day's notice?
Yeah, we've gotten great reports. Jimmy, I believe, is going to be released from the hospital either today or it's really soon. There's a long road of recovery ahead for him, and then there's other things that he's going to have to handle that are personal and private for the family that they're going to have to deal with. But very encouraging, just the fact that I'm able to talk about it in terms of leaving the hospital. Really happy for Jimmy, and certainly Lauren, his wife, who's been there by his side every day. So a good bit of news there that we were able to get yesterday. John's been with me. I recruited John. John played for me. He was a coordinator for me, winning a national championship, coaching the defensive line, coached with me at Central Michigan, Cincinnati. He's coordinated in the SEC. So you have an experienced coach who knows how to build relationships with players. I don't think we miss a beat there at all. Excited about his ability to teach the techniques, and he works really well with Matt too. So you have not only somebody that has the experience, but we saw what he did with really working as an analyst, but really had Harold, excuse me, and working with Harold Perkins last year. I think you would say he did a pretty good job. So I feel really good about that. Bob Diaco, again, another guy that has been with me at a number of different stops. A great teacher, highly energetic. I know our special teams guys love coming to the meetings. He brings, like I said, a great passion to those teams, which I think we all know the game of special teams. Sometimes you need that. And I know that we're going to be sound fundamentally, and those guys are going to enjoy playing for him.
And that was head coach Brian Kelly from his comments today, August 8th, after his Tuesday practice. The fifth one in the books for LSU. His closing comments right there. We showed y'all Coach Brian Kelly talking about Coach Jimmy Lindsey being away from the team. Some good news today for the program that Coach Lindsey would be released from the hospital either today or sometime very soon. Coach John Jansen, Coach Bob Diaco will step up for new roles. But, man, you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, Jimmy Lindsey, everybody put him and his family in your prayers. He did get released from the hospital today, but he's got a long rehab. John Jansick was coaching the edge rushers and special teams. He moves in to coach the D-line. He's got some help there. Yeah. Bob Diaco is coaching outside linebackers and special teams. And we didn't get into it. We talked a little bit about it at the beginning. But Aaron Anderson, I want you to focus in on the two number ones because you're going to love them. Aaron Anderson is a 5'8", 190-pound kid. We were all sick when he went to sign with the enemy with Alabama. Of course, he got hurt over there, came back home. He's a redshirt freshman. JP, he just catches the ball, puts his foot in the ground, makes a seamless transition. You're going to love Aaron Anderson if he can stay healthy, catching the football, being a slot receiver. They even intimated could have him in the backfield and throw him a little swing pass and let him run in space. He'll be held to tackle. The other number one, Omar Spates, 6'1", 235, and you know he's got to be thanking the good Lord. He comes from Oregon State, as we know. Crazy expansion going on. We don't have time to talk about the Big Ten and the demise of the Pac and the Big 12 and all that. But Omar Spates today on pass rushing drills, you know how Harold Perkins can lean and bend his body? Omar Spates can do it as well. 1 and 4, tweaking, twerking, and leaning and twisting that body. Look, if a guy's 320, if he gets his hands on you, you're not going to get around him. But these guys are so quick around the edge, that pass rush is going to be incredibly important because of the secondary. And once again, 8 running backs. This is going to be a real chore for Frank Wilson and Brian Kelly. As we said earlier, offensive line, how cool is it to have 2 guys like Will Campbell and Emory Jones, both from the state of Louisiana. Then you throw in the monster guy, Lance Hurd at 340. Who said they don't grow big ones and big uglies in the state of Louisiana anymore, JP?
That's right, bud, man. Take another quick break here on Tigers Roar. We'll come back. You'll hear from some players. We have tight end Mason Taylor and also defensive end junior Savion Jones. I'll hear from both of those guys and a whole lot more. We'll talk some more tidbits from practice and a whole lot more. He's the Bud Man. I'm John DePoche, and you're watching Tigers Roar.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
You could be driving smooth handling and smart interior styling. Just 2 reasons why the all-new Honda CR-V was once again named a Car and Driver's 10 Best Trucks and SUV list. Come see your new CR-V today at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Caught spiders?
Premier Pest Services.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Few things in life are as valuable as family and peace of mind, especially when it comes to your final arrangements. And that's where Lee Serio can help. His prepaid funeral plans make sure your life will be remembered exactly the way you want it to. With Lee Serio, no detail is too large or too small. Call Lee or his wife Gretchen at 225-315-6329. Let Lee Serio give you and your family the peace of mind you all deserve.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club.
a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonCountryClub.com.
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
And we continue here on Tigers Roar. Jonathan Poche joined by the Budman Buddy Sanji here at Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. A great place to escape the South Louisiana heat. Come get some great food at Old School prices. Once again, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue. Budman, talking about some LSU football. It's that time of the year again. Only 25 days left until September 3rd when LSU will face Florida State in Orlando for a revenge game from last year. Do you like how LSU's going back to Orlando, the site of the Cheez-It Bowl? Familiar with the stadium, the route, the hotel, the whole deal? I love how they're starting with a competitive team in Florida State, a team that's looking to beat LSU again. No expectations to lose that game from the Seminoles, but do you like how LSU starts off with a tough task this year?
Yeah, look, very seldom. By the way, Florida State has been a tough out for Brian Kelly. Yeah. They had trouble with Florida State when they were at Notre Dame. It's night and day, I think, between last year and this year. Of course, Jaden Daniels was just starting out. Yep. Malik Neighbors fumbled 2 punts. Will Campbell started at left tackle and had a rough game. Cam Wire, who's over at Tulane now, started at right tackle. So LSU appreciably better and appreciably deeper. Oh, by the way, a top 10 matchup. We've been saying it. Coach is 5-8. We'll find out AP what it is, but both these two teams are going to be in the top 10. And we know that Brian Kelly is going to have to play this heat smart. He said it today. He said, look, it's going to be hot on the night of September 3rd. That game, by the way, on ABC, 6:30. Tigers are 2.5 point favorite right now. We've got a big-time sandwich over here that is popular as it can be, the Boss Hog. And this might be the nickname of Mason Taylor because as the LSU tight end room is going from 1 or 2 to 4 or 5, this guy is the real deal. JP says you think he makes All-American. Brock Powers is the best tight end in the country, but Mason Taylor could be the second best. Look for him to get a lot of balls this year. And who would have ever forgotten what he did in that Alabama game, and especially him and Jaden in the fourth quarter.
Right, Mason Taylor, 38 receptions, 414 yards, 3 touchdowns last season, looking to build upon that this year. He was asked, what are you mainly working on to improve this offseason? Of course, he did deal with surgery and an injury, so he's been working back kind of slow. But he's working on his blocking. He said it's the most important part he needs to improve in his game. He's got great hands. He can run. But if he can, shore up that blocking, bud, man, and, slide some of these defensive ends, Mason Taylor is going to have a lot of opportunity in this offense.
Got a new tight end, Kamorian Pimpton. He's about 6'6", his wingspan. He probably could stretch out and scratch Marty's nose all the way from this table. But hands as soft as a baby's butt. Yeah. I mean, you're going to see 88 catch some balls, 86. 2 freshman tight ends, Jackson McGowan and Mac Markway. LSU going to play more tight ends this year. Yeah. Take that to the bank, Tiger fans.
Here is sophomore tight end Mason Taylor talking about expectations for 2003 and a whole lot more. Here he is on Tigers Roar.
Just, I guess, year 1 to year 2 for you, where do you want to see your biggest growth? What did you work on during the offseason? And kind of what are you hoping that this fall camp can get you, better prepared for the start of the season?
I think overall, just I got to work on everything, but one thing in general is blocking. Probably work on my hands inside and stuff like that. So mostly blocking, but other than that, just keep working on everything a tight end does in the game. So.
Hey Mason, couple things. You look bigger. Have you packed on some mass since last year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I probably gained. Right now I'm 255, so I probably gained about 10 pounds in the off season.
And you've gotten a lot stronger in the weight room and everything?
Ever since the shoulder got back, yep.
The preseason rankings just came out. You're top 5 in the country. Is it any different than, say, a year ago when you were unranked? Or, what's the view of that kind of stuff?
I mean, yeah, it's a little different, but at the end of the day, we got to just do how we came last year and just stick to the fundamentals and everything we're taught. I mean, a lot of people can take that two ways. I mean, take it big-headed or stay humble about it. So we're going to stay humble about it and just play every game like it's our game.
Tell me about your freshman tight end teammates there. Obviously, they're going to be needed in this year. What kind of wisdom have you imparted to them, being in that situation last year, and what kind of progress are you seeing them make now that they're at the collegiate level?
Yeah. We definitely got a lot of depth. We gained a lot of recruits, and it's good. They all got their attributes. Some can block better than others, some can catch better than others. So we all have the things that we could do. I think Coach Denmark's going to do a great job of putting us in the game and putting us for opportunities that will make us perform at our best.
What have you seen from the younger tight ends so far? Anything that stands out about each one of them individually?
Overall, just they all have potential. I mean, they're athletes. I mean, KP's tall and long. They can throw any ball up to him. He'll go grab it. Max, both blocking and passing game. He's a dual threat, and Jackson too. I mean, all of them just have their attributes, and they can perform when they're putting the game into what they do best.
I know it's extremely hot out there. Tempers can get a little flare. The fight there. What was the message after from Coach Kelly? Because it was pretty big names that were involved in that that fracas.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of first day or a couple days in the fall camp. Everyone's excited, so I mean, everything gets chirpy and they're excited to be back. So it's just energies through the roof. But Coach Kelly just said respect the brotherhood. I mean, we just got to respect each other. At the end of the day, we're teammates, and we got to work together to get each other better. And we'll do that to the other team, not our team. So,
to that degree, tell me about your summer. Did you work with Jaden or Nuss, or what did their leadership look like over the summer as far as getting the receivers together and kind of improving the passing game?
Yeah, they definitely worked on it, and I would say I worked on it too, but I was still recovering off my shoulder. So I mean, but Jaden and Nuss, both of them have taken control of the offense, and they've been getting everything together. So their leadership is definitely showing.
What have you seen in Jaden's game? I guess, now that he's super comfortable, right? Same OC, same scheme, kind of has a feel for what everybody can do.
Yeah, he just knows the playbook in and out. I mean, you see at practice, I forgot, maybe 2 days ago, he's stepping up in the pocket and throwing balls to Malik 50 yards down the field. So, I mean, he's just comfortable, and that's where we need him best. And I mean, it took time. I mean, the first year he did really good, but he's got high standards for this year, and he's going to exceed them. So.
Mason, what was the rehab process like for your shoulder, and what was your mindset during that journey?
I was a little fast to it. My shoulder healed more than others, they said. So I was kind of wanting to jump forward and do things too quickly, but the training staff kept me composed and did it really slow. So it was good. But overall, I mean, I feel really strong right now, and I felt great even a week after surgery. So they kept me going through it slowly, but we're really good now. So.
Can you maybe compare this from a year ago in terms of the continuity and just the productivity of the offense? Because a year ago you were trying to figure out who the offensive line is. Everything was new. The coaches were new. You were new. Is it just a lot more productive this time around, you think? Or?
Yeah, definitely way more productive. I think just everyone in general is just comfortable with the playbook, and once you know, it's like second nature. I mean, people can go out there and play fast. If you don't know what you're doing, I mean, you can go out there and play, but do you know the in and outs of every single play? And I think everyone on the offense kind of knows that now. So, I mean, we could play way better than we did last year.
Mason, Jacques asked you about the ranking, but last year, I don't think a lot of people didn't expect high things from you. They didn't expect an SC West title. Is it different? Is there a different message that there's a lot more expected? I mean, y'all are in the national title talk there. Everything seems a lot more amped up this year than last year.
Yeah, it is a little bit more amped up, but at the end of the day, we got to block that out and just control what we can control and take it step by step and be where your feet are. So, I mean, we got to take it slowly, not worry about what we're doing, because at the end of the day, if we win every single game, we're an SEC championship, and there for. So we just got to do it game by game.
Tell me about your receiver room. I know you're such a pass catching tight end. Just what do you see in those guys? Obviously, Chris elevating his game, Brian really elevating his game. Just different guys stepping into that moment, I guess.
Yeah, we definitely have depth there too, I would say. And we added on. We got a couple of freshmen like Jalen Brown and KP. He's going to play this year, and he's going to be really good for us. So I mean, we got depth there, and they'll rotate like crazy, so we keep fresh legs in there. And other than that, they all know what they're doing, and they know it to a high level. And even the freshmen are experienced because they have people like Kyron and Malik around them that help them out. So, and Coach Hankton, of course. But I think we'll be really good in that spot this year.
Mason, you think it was easier to gain the 10 pounds through the injury? You're hurt, and some things might be rough, but you also get time off the field.
Yeah, I definitely think it was a little easier. I mean, not being able to work out or run or anything like that for a couple of weeks was hard, but I mean, I think it was definitely a little easier. I didn't think I could put on that much weight. I thought I was going to play at 250, but I want to play at 255 this year. So.
On the other side of the ball, how's the new look linebacker core, either the jack or the two in the middle? What do you see in them early? I know it's early.
They're good. I mean, Ovi and Omar, both of them coming in from other schools, I mean, it's definitely going to really help us. And I just think they're both ballers. I mean, they can do everything, and they can go cover and definitely blitz the quarterback. So it'll be really good for us this year.
What, Harold?
Oh, part two, yeah. He's different. I mean, he's going to do his thing this year, but we'll see.
Any other questions for Mason? Yeah. What do you want this year to be for you? I guess everybody kind of got to know you last year, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to be keyed on a little bit more this year. How do you handle that? I guess how do you handle the expectations of now having expectations?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say just take it slow. I mean, if I just do what I do every single game, I'll be fine. I mean, at the end of the game, it's a team sport. I'm not really worried about my individual goals. Other than that, I just want to win a natty, and anything less than that is not exceptional here.
Two more guys. Sorry if someone asked you this during the spring, but any reason for the number change this year?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm at 86 still.
You were at, okay, my bad.
Oh, no, you're good.
Someone's getting us, too.
Yeah.
You played a lot of running backs last year, but it looks like you have even more this year. You're interested to see how that plays out and how many guys you're going to play?
Yeah, I know. We definitely played a lot last year. We got a good rotation, but we added more like Trey Bradford and a couple freshmen that are really good too. So, and John Emery coming back. So, yeah, we have a lot of depth at running back, and I bet you Coach Frank's going to do a good job rotating them in and setting them up for their goals.
And you just being kind of an extension of the receiving game, Brian Thomas, Hilton, some of those guys. You look forward to them having breakout years?
You said what?
Some of the receivers, the wide receivers like Brian Thomas and Hilton and those guys, you think they're ready for breakout years?
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. They've been here for a while, and they've seen good receivers go in and out, so they definitely have experience, and I think they'll exceed expectations this year for sure.
That was sophomore tight end Mason Taylor for LSU Tigers. We kind of talked about it, Budman, off camera. The poise and humbleness of this kid trying to get out of his dad's shadow, who was an NFL Hall of Famer, played a very long time. Everybody knows Jason Taylor, but here's Mason Taylor trying to be a star in his own right on the offensive side of the ball. Big shoes to fill, but a very humble kid. Cheering for Mason Taylor.
By the way, if you're down in the dumps, put that Alabama LSU game in the tape. ESPN or actually the SEC Network replayed it during the summer, and that second half was riveting TV. I'm going to make two predictions for Mason Taylor. You said he scored 3 touchdown receptions. He'll have double that. He's going to have at least 6 touchdown receptions. And, oh, by the way, put it in your pipe and smoke it. Mason Taylor scores a touchdown the night of September 3rd against Florida State.
I like it, Bud, man. Another quick break here on Tigers Roar. We'll come back and hear from Savion Jones, the junior pass rusher for LSU. Don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss it. And you are watching Tigers Roar.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring taste the feeling.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi gang, Clarence Buggs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Buggs Show.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
Come see the all-new Mazda CX-90, now on sale at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda.
And we continue here on Tigers Roar, last segment of this episode. Certainly appreciate you watching with us. If you missed anything in this episode, go check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. This episode and every episode of Tigers Roar is archived for your viewing pleasure. Go check it out. And while you're at our page, click the like button, click the subscribe button. We certainly appreciate it. But, man, talking LSU football, let's talk defensive front. Mason Smith, Mekhi Wingo, Harold Perkins on the outside. Savion Jones, a 6'6", long body pass rusher with a lot of athleticism, is looking to kind of make his legacy at LSU. Last year had 11 solo, 12 assists, 1 pass breakup, 1 forced fumble, 1 quarterback carry. Did have 4.5 sacks for a loss of 27 yards. Want to improve on those numbers.
6'6", 280, Savion Jones. This is his money year, folks. He has a blow-up year. He could go pro. Mekhi Wingo, 6'1", 295. Inside next to Mason Smith, 6'6", 315. Those two guys are juniors. And Ovi Ogofu played 3 years with Kelly at Notre Dame, 1 year at Texas, 5th year Jack linebacker, 6'4", 250. They are very impressive with that defensive front. Harold Perkins, Omar Spates, and Greg Penn, the third inside. And we'll talk about corners and DBs next time. But that front seven is very serious, very experienced, and very impressive. JP.
Well, here is junior pass rusher, defensive end Savion Jones for his comments yesterday after practice. There was a little team scuffle. I don't know if you heard about it, but here's some comments from Savion Jones.
Just take us through year 2 now that you've got last year we were talking about taking supplements and, going to bed on time and all this stuff. Do you feel like you're really into the football now with everyone kind of knowing the expectations under coach and kind of understanding the potential that this team has?
Oh, yeah. I feel like I'm at that point where it's like I got things down. I feel like the game is very slow to me right now, and I feel like technically there's still room for improvement, but I'm getting there. I just feel like the only piece I need to put together is consistency.
Just tell me about that.
Thank you.
While I talk, you can drink. Just tell me about the defensive front. I guess what do you guys see? What does Mason being back really contribute to this front, and just kind of how are the new Jack linebackers working with you guys in conjunction with you guys?
With Mason being back, I feel like it puts like a lot of like a boost on us, like a confidence boost on us. Feeling like having Mason come back and having the transfer like Brandon and Ovi, it really puts together the D-line, I feel like we could be dominant this year.
You get a start in the bowl game to sort of end off the season. How do you build off that moving into this year?
Wait, ask that again?
You got to start in the bowl game against Purdue, right? And how do you kind of build from everything that you had going well for you that game into this year where there's a bigger role for you?
I don't really get it.
How do you take the start that you had in the bowl game against Purdue and that kind of environment into this year where you have a bigger role and you're called upon more to perform?
What are your expectations for this year, I guess, for yourself?
I'm expecting big things from me, to be honest. I'm expecting big things from not only me, but the D-line as a whole. Like, yeah, I expect me to have X amount of numbers of sacks, X amount of numbers of tackles and all that, but as a D-line, I got high expectations for all of us.
All right, Rob. Last year, it was the first year of Coach Kelly. I don't know how much was expected inside the building, but how is the mindset this year? Because, there's national title talk. I mean, Jaden's up for possible Heisman. Is there a different mindset? Because I think a lot more is expected out of y'all in year two.
I wouldn't say a different mindset, because the mindset always been the same to, graduate champions, but I feel like now is more determined, especially when we have a chance just as much as anybody else. So I can really feel the determination with our mindset, like it's being backed up by the way we play and how passionate we is.
So when you were at St. James, did you have a scuffle or two in fall camp?
Yeah, we had some scuffles. I feel like scuffling is something that always comes with football if you're passionate about it. Like if you're not having a scuffle, then like, do you really want to play football? You know what I mean?
So you feel like you need one of those every camp, one or two of those, or?
I mean, I don't feel like you need one, but it's bound to happen if you're really passionate about the game.
What did Coach Kelly say to you guys? It seemed like he was disappointed that it kind of went on for as long as it did.
Yeah, he was definitely disappointed, but he just told us that's something that we need to put behind us, and instead of being down about the fight, use that as a stepping stool to see where our chemistry at now and where we need to get in order to be a championship team.
So just tell me about Coach Lindsey going away, and I think you got Coach Jancic working with y'all now.
Right.
How has that transition been? Do you feel like, you guys will be all right? You're checking in on Coach Lindsey. He'll be all right. You feel like everything will be all right?
Oh, yeah. We definitely keep Coach Lindsey in our prayer. But with Coach Jancic, with him, he told us always keep Lindsey in our prayer, but he go be here to work us just like as if he was here. And right now with him, I feel like it's no different. It feel like as if Coach Lindsey is here.
I guess if you could kind of give me a snapshot of what the offensive line across from you is looking like. A lot of veterans returning there, some guys are still trying to get healthy, but do you sense that experience from them and they're kind of working y'all pretty good?
Yeah, I definitely feel the experience from last year to how they was to this year. I could definitely, they become more of a unit. I could see the chemistry that they got between them, like even not talking on the field, like even off the field, like you can see them, they'll all get on the bus at the same time, sit at the same table. So I can really feel the difference with them.
Following up on the question I asked you a few minutes ago, at St. James, y'all are always fighting for a state title. How excited are you personally to know that if y'all play strongly, that there's some trophies down the line? That's got to be really exciting just for you personally to be fighting for some trophies.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting because I already got a ring on a high school level. So being able to get a ring on a collegiate level, especially from my own home state, that'll be a very exciting thing.
Any other questions?
Thank you, sir.
Well,
I'm sorry, Jared Rose. Talk us through your physical the last year or so, just where you're at right now, what you're weighing, what's going into that, and how it feels, because you're obviously a lot bigger than you were at St. James, right?
Yeah, so I think I came in the program at like 240, but the latest weight in was at like 288. So I feel pretty good as of where my weight at, and especially being able to keep all that weight and lose little to no speed, especially because of the staff we got with Dr. Frakes and Flint. I trust in what they do for me, and being able to trust in them brings me a long way.
And that was junior defensive end Savion Jones. He looks to expand upon his 4.5 sacks from last season and play a bigger role in LSU Tigers defense this season. But man, just a few minutes left. Talk about some standouts from camp. Who's caught your eye? Who's looked good? Who's going to really flash for Tiger fans come September 3?
I know he's not the sexiest running back in the room, but Josh Williams looks smooth as can be. He's probably going to get a lot of carries. Noah Kane. Look, Malik Neighbors, as always, looking good. Kyron Lacey's had a much better camp. A lot of Tiger fans remember he had some big drops. Bryant Thomas Jr., this is his year to make a statement. Of course, as we know, Mason Taylor and Savion Jones, both of those guys have potential to be having monster years. I talked about Omar Spates. Andre Sam is a DB, has been around 6 or 7 years, last played at Marshall, was going to play at Tulane. LSU got him to come over here. He's going to start. Greg Brooks and Major Burns at the safeties. Zy Alexander and Deuce Chestnut right now running with the ones at cornerback. LaTerrence Welsh, also Ashton Stamps, a true freshman, and Denver Harris. So right now it's hard to tell because we really hadn't seen, but Pimpton, you're going to love Camaro Pimpton, a true freshman, obviously tight end, and Caleb Jackson, 6 foot 2 1/4. This kid got hurt his senior year, but he can flat out fly. Trey Holly looks much better. LSU's got some talent. Just got to shore up the defensive secondary and make sure they're going to be appreciably better in special teams.
NFL also in camp. New Orleans Saints signed veterans Kareem Hunt and Anthony Barr to add some depth to the offense and defense. Of course, I like the thumbs up. Alvin Kamara got 3-game suspension for the Saints. I'm sure you've heard about that already. Eno Benjamin has the Achilles injury. He's going to be out for the season, so got to have some help in the running back room. Kareem Hunt, proven veteran, had a lot of success in the past through the Browns. At one time was considered one of the best in a duo with Nick Chubb. So adding some things to the Saints. You know, you got Derek Carr. You signed Jimmy Graham back. You got Foster Moreau. That's a great story for the offseason. What are your expectations for the Saints this year, bud, man? 9-10 wins?
9.5 over and under for LSU and the Saints. I like LSU over, and I'm still in between on the Saints. But look, good to have Mike Thomas. Chris Olave, pick him if you play in fantasy football. He has a monster year this year.
One thing going for the Saints, the division is going to be absolutely horrible. Derek Carr is the best quarterback in the division this season, so Saints should make a playoff run winning that NFC South. We certainly appreciate you tuning into this episode of Tigers Roar. If you missed anything, go check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting, and we'll see you next time right here on Pelican Sports TV.